Chapter 18 of Anne of Green Gables, The Scholarship. Anne went off to Queen's Academy in the fall. Miss Barry found her a boarding house to live in. Anne was very homesick for Green Gables at first. She was glad that Jane and Ruby and even Josie Pye were at Queen's too. Anne was able to go home or to Miss Barry's on weekends, and she made some new friends at school. Soon her homesickness wore off. She studied hard, hoping to win a scholarship to Redmond College. There were 2 scholarships, the Medal and the Avery. "I know I won't win the Avery," Anne said to Jane after the final exams were over. "Everyone says Emily Clay will get it. I'm not going to look at the bulletin board to see who won. You read it and then come and tell me. If I didn't win a scholarship, break it to me gently. Promise?" Jane promised. The next moment they saw a crowd of boys carrying Gilbert Blythe on their shoulders. "Hooray for Blythe, medalist!" they shouted. Anne's heart sank. She had failed and Gilbert had won. She knew Matthew would be sorry. He had been so sure she would win. And then somebody called out, "3 cheers for Anne Shirley, winner of the Avery." All the girls rushed up to Anne to congratulate her. Anne whispered to Jane, "Matthew and Marilla will be so pleased. I have to write to them right away." Matthew and Marilla came to Queen's for Anne's graduation. They watched proudly as Anne read the best essay. "Reckon you're glad we kept her, Marilla," whispered Matthew. "It's not the first time I've been glad," Marilla snapped. "You do like to rub things in, Matthew Cuthbert." Anne went home to Avonlea with Matthew and Marilla. Diana was at Green Gables to meet her. "Oh, Diana, it's so good to be home again," Anne said, "and to see you again." "Are you going to teach now that you've won the Avery?" Diana asked. "No," said Anne. "I'm going to Redmond College in the fall, but first I'll have 3 wonderful months of vacation." The next morning at breakfast, Anne asked Marilla, "Is Matthew all right? He looks as if he isn't feeling well." He's had a bad time with his heart," Marilla said. "I'm worried about him. He works too hard. Maybe he'll rest and get better now that you're home. You always cheer him up." That evening, Aunt went with Matthew to bring the cows to the back pasture. "You've been working too hard," Anne said. "Why don't you take things easier?" "I guess I just keep forgetting that I'm getting old," Matthew said. "Today I wish I were the boy you and Marilla wanted," Anne said. "I could help you so much now." "Well, I'd rather have you than a dozen boys," Matthew said. "It wasn't a boy who won the scholarship, was it? It was a girl, my girl."